I want to share with you something I think is really important for most childcare businesses out there. Basically, I want to talk you through what happens during the summer months where your numbers drop. What typically happens is, if you think about this, the numbers will, most likely peak around, January, and they'll stay constant through till around May or June, depending on when you break up. And what happens then, those numbers then drop quite dramatically, and they'll drop all the way down. Your numbers will drop there because your school leavers have gone, and then they eventually will start to grow back over a period of time, but they don't come back up to this original number. And that's typically because we don't plan enough to avoid what we call the summer drop. So what happens is these numbers then will grow gradually. Okay, they might peak a bit after the initial summer because families come back, but it takes a while to get back up to that original number. Now, hopefully you're not in that situation, but a lot of childcare businesses are. So you end up having this big drop throughout the summer where your revenue already drops. Now, if you're a center right now that actually isn't already full, maybe you're only operating around, I don't know, for example, 60% occupancy, whereas this facility on the top is operating more around, I don't know, 95% occupancy, okay, or even 90%. What's happening here is these numbers are even more drastic. So if you're only operating around 60% occupancy right now, maybe you're around this point, and then what will happen, your numbers of course will then drop. Okay, now potentially at this point you might be dropping down to even 20 or even 30% occupancy. And obviously if you've got a core staff, that's not even going to cover the cost of your wages. So then what happens here is these numbers stay down. They eventually will then start to grow, maybe come back up a little bit. But if you're already low on occupancy anyway, it's going to take longer to recover. Of course, you're going to have more of a gradual recovery there, because over time we realize, oh gosh, I've got to put more money into marketing. But I honestly believe that if you get this right and you plan to avoid the summer drop, you never need to go through this, because think about this. Babies are not born on one particular month. They're born every single month. It's not just 1 month they get born. And parents go back to work at different times throughout the year. The only reason we end up having these peaks and troughs is because what happens is we kind of sit there thinking our numbers are doing good, and we ride the high, but then all of a sudden we get to a point where the summer numbers drop. We think, oh my gosh, we've left this too long. And then we start to try and recruit those families throughout the summer months. No one wants the childcare in the summer, and then all of a sudden it goes back up. But I truly believe that if you get this right and you really dial this in, there's no reason why you can't be operating at least 90 to 95% of capacity all the time. So let's be conservative. Let's go 90%. There's absolutely no reason as a business why you can't consistently operate all year through at this particular revenue. Now, if this is something you're struggling with in your business and you want to find the answer on exactly how to solve this problem, click the link somewhere on this video and I'll tell you exactly how you can avoid the summer drop and make sure your revenue is consistent for every single month throughout the year.